Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm reviewing another pen from Hongdian, and this was provided by EasyBuy on Etsy. It is the N2 model, and this is the teal for this. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the parts and features of this pen. I'll do a writing sample, size comparison, pros and cons. But I just wanted to say, I've had this pen in my collection now for, I want to say 5 months. And when I first got it, I was always going to review it, but I wasn't super inspired. It's a very simple pen, but this is where pen reviewers need to take their time. I'm not talking about 5 months every time, obviously, but get over the initial first impressions, because within a couple of weeks of writing with this pen, I was blown away. It's not fancy. It's just a cartridge converter pen. It doesn't have a flashy, flexible nib or anything like that. It's a simple, fine steel nib. But I love writing with this pen. It's insanely comfortable. It lays down a really consistent, reliable line and a precise line. And when I'm working in things like, 5mm grid or 4mm grid, if it's something like a Hobonichi, having that nice crisp fine line is actually really nice. So I'm going to talk about the parts and features. Let's get going. Top of the pen, you've got the Hongdian logo and everything in there. It's nicely done. It's perfectly fine. I've got a nice sort of sturdy clip here that is flexible enough to be able to be used, but nice and sort of sturdy. The cap sort of tapers down ever so slightly off where the clip attaches. And then it's cylindrical to these two chrome bands, a little bit more of the acrylic, step down onto this teal acrylic that continues along. It tapers to a ring, and then a fake blind cap, fake piston, whatever you want to call it, like finial there, and a flat end. It is a twist cap, and it comes off in 1 and a bit turns, like 1 1/4 almost turns. There's a nice sort of gentle step down onto some basic threads there, which are smooth enough. A section that tapers down and then a little flare, and then a number 6 Hongdian nib that says since 1997 Hongdian fine, and then I think it says 35 there. It's a nice design with a little gold accenting on it, and there is the plastic feed. As I said, it is a simple cartridge converter pen. There's nothing fancy to this. A lot of people, it is proprietary, I should say. Well, not proprietary, but the Chinese standard. Some people say that Lamy and Parker can fit in these. I haven't tried. I just see people saying about this. I've been using this converter since I've had it. I've had it inked with a couple of different inks. At the moment, it's got Robert Oster Tranquility in it, which is one of my favorite teal inks. All the threads are very smooth. It's, a simple, clean, elegant pen that really does the job. Slightly smaller in the hand, unposted, but it does post, and because it's a cartridge converter pen, you're not posting on a piston knob or anything like that. It does make it a little longer, and there is a bit of weight in the back of the clip. I'll come back to that. But for the kind of writing I've been doing with this pen, which is carrying it in my pocket, writing things on my to-do list as I go, doing planning, things like that, this light, smaller size in the hand is very, very pleasant. The fact it's got a number 6 size nib makes it ergonomically very nice for me as well. As I said, I have this in a fine. As far as I can tell at the moment, it's available in extra fine, fine, and medium. Hongdian have other nibs, like long knife nibs and things in their output, so there may be more options, but as it stood, that's what I could find. For the size comparison today, we'll put it alongside the standard Lamy Safari. You can see it's a decent sized pen. And then the Hongdian N2, which is my favorite Hongdian pen, actually. I think that's a fantastic pen. You can see there are some little, similarities, like some of the shape of the clip and things like that. But it is a very different pen, but they do sort of all stick to that roughly sort of 138 to 141mm sort of size. Unposted, it comes in a little shorter. So it is shorter than the N12, and it's definitely shorter there than the Lamy Safari, but I think with that number 6 size nib, it makes it a nice ergonomic size in the hand. As I said, it doesn't post particularly deeply. It does post quite long. It's as long as a Lamy Safari almost there, and it's slightly longer posted than the N12 model. So what are the specific dimensions of the Hongdian N2 fountain pen? It's 138mm when it is capped. It's 122 when it's uncapped, so it is on the smaller side. And it's 164 when it's posted. So it's not super long, but it just feels a little bit long given the fact that it's got a relatively slim section at just over 10 millimeters, and it's about 14 millimeters around the cap, but there is a bit of weight there on the back. The entire pen weighs 24 grams, 16 in the body, 8 in the cap. So there is a third of the pen's body weight in the cap, but I have the feeling a lot of that weight is in this very back end, right up near the end. So, you know, you are putting the weight right on the back. So it's not uncomfortable because it's still a fairly lightweight pen, but you do definitely feel that. Okay, it's time for a writing sample now with the Hongdian N2. Has a number 6 steel fine nib. As I said, extra and fine medium. The ink in this is Robert Oster Tranquility. Not sure what that was. Is what it is. Okay, so you can see it's a fairly fine, and I'm all for that. It's super crisp. It's not super dry. So, you know, it's just laying down a really nice, crisp, fine line. Not a flex nib. You can squeeze a little bit out, like a tiny amount. So no pressure through to pressure or railroad it out there. It's not designed for that. Reverse writing. Very fine, much drier, a little sharper as you would expect. I will say this pen does not excel with fast writing, but we'll see how we go. That's not the most pleasant way to write with this pen, but you can see it kept up. It didn't do a bad job, but this is the sort of pen that, you know, I actually really like the shape of my handwriting with this very nice, crisp, fine nib. I enjoy this pen. I enjoy writing with this pen. I think it's a nice, simple, clean nib. Some, yes, may say boring. People have said that about nibs like this. But I really enjoy this. This certainly has its place in my writing setup. Okay, so as I said, this pen was sent to me by Easy Buy. You can get it on Etsy there or any of the sellers like AliExpress, all those kinds of things. And it will retail for between 35 and 45 Australian dollars, depending on where you shop. Now, I give the price in Australian dollars because those retailers sell to me in Australian dollars. Your price will be dependent on where you are. Check out your local versions of those websites. So let's talk pros and cons. So what are the cons? Well, as I said, when I first picked it up, I was like, oh, it's light. It doesn't feel super robust, you know, a little bit clumsy in terms of like some of the profile of the clip and this end there. And yeah, okay. But I tell you what, it turned around for me. There's a lot I love about this pen. So firstly, the nib. It's a nice nib. It's not an exciting nib, but it makes writing so easy and I really personally enjoy it. I love the price point. 35 to 45 Australian for a cartridge converter pen that comes with a converter and, you know, like does the job, wrote perfectly well out of the box, all that kind of thing. Not an issue there. I really enjoy the simple material, these sort of nice sort of like marbled acrylics and this lovely teal. I also like the fact that there's a bit of reinforcing of the pen, you know, around points like on the cap band where it's sort of screwing in to just gives you a little bit more faith in the pen, you know, in that way. I like it a lot. I really like the simplicity of this. I really like the crisp, reliable writing of it. It's easy to clean and maintain because it's a cartridge converter pen. Like it's a Hongdian branded converter as well. I like the matte finish on that as well. you know, not every pen needs to be a super vac filler or power filler or have, you know, some weird, you know, material or anything. Sometimes just a good simple pen that writes well and writes reliably is worth its weight in gold. Yes, there are pens that are cheaper that will write this reliably and as well, but I think this is a pretty good deal, and it's a pen I really enjoy. So a big thank you to EasyBuy for sending this out for me to show you. I'm glad that I didn't just do an immediate sort of review. As I said, I've used this now over a period of months and I've enjoyed it a lot. And so I'm going to continue to enjoy it a lot. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button, all that kind of stuff. If you've got products you think I should be looking at, or if there's a way you'd like to support my channel, I'd really love to hear from you. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.